Listen, what do you think of? I mean, I know you were very, you have spoken out. We know Bethenny. There's at your cabaret in the Q&A. Of course, someone always asks you about Bethenny. It happened the night I was there as well. I know that you have said, you don't think Bethenny should bite the hand that feeds her with Reality Reckoning. Now we have this. I mean, it's looming. This Vanity Fair. There's a rumor that this Vanity Fair, expose is coming out on Bravo with how they've treated housewives. Like, what do you think of this?
Well, I'll say the same thing again. For me, it's been my career for 14 years now, and I'm doing all kinds of great stuff with the network. So it's not been my experience, and so I'm not involved with what she's doing. And I'm sure the Bravo universe and NBC and as a whole is not very happy about this whole thing. But I'm staying out of it. It's none of my business.
I think that's a good thing.
I know my business.
Your business is your cabaret.
My business is my cabaret and Crappie Lake, and NBC's been nothing good but good to me. So no complaints here.
Do you think this whole Vanity Fair article, though, is tied into Bethenny? Like, do you think she's the one behind it, kind of driving this whole thing?
Well, if I had to guess, probably.
I mean, right? I mean, I would think so too.
Right.
And before we move on from Bethenny, do you think it is personal? Because she says over and over, it's not personal.
David, I really don't want to talk about Bethenny.
I don't blame you, Luann. I don't blame you.
I love you, Daryl. I don't want to give her any oxygen. I really don't.
I love you too. We don't have to give her any oxygen. It does come up in the Q&A at the Countess Cabaret every
well, sure, you
time.
can say that. And then I said, yeah, that, she shouldn't bite the hand that feeds you. I don't want to get into, NBC and all that stuff with her. You know what I mean?
I agree. Look, they've been good to you. We love watching you.
Well, and I think it's people that are disgruntled in the end.
I do. I do. Listen, it will be interesting to see how it all plays out, right?
Exactly. Agreed.
What can someone who has never been to your show expect? Because like I said, there's a lot of people that come, like what do you think people are shocked about the most? Is it that there's anecdotes and little jokes and stories in between? Is it the songs? Like, what do you think people are most shocked at when they come to see you?
Well, I think that I put on a really good show. My director is Richard J. Alexander, and my musicians are incredible, and I have a really tight show, and it is pop culture kind of meets cabaret meets comedy, and I think people don't know what to expect, and they come out saying, "What a fantastic show!" So, that's really what keeps them coming back, and that's why I'm able to keep doing my shows and continue touring, because I do put on a good show. I work hard at it, and I love it, and I think people can tell the difference, when I get out there. And I'm also very engaged with the audience. I think, you see moments that you wouldn't see because, I put together these great videos which capture some of the finest moments in Housewives history. So, it's very engaging, and I think that's part of the reason why people love it is people are engaged, the audience is engaged. I don't sing music that the fans don't know. I want my fans to be able to sing along, and I always say it's because, and the young people, they know the songs because they grew up on them. Their mother was, listening to that music. They were watching Housewives with their moms, and so that's really how I gauge. I really gauge my show to be audience friendly so they can participate, feel like they're part of the experience. And I think that's what makes my show work well. If you go to Taylor Swift, you're not having a rapport with Taylor Swift. You're watching and you're hoping that she'll even look your way, but there's no, engagement with the audience really, right? Because you can't with that many people. So that's why I love cabaret, because you can engage in such a different way with your fans, where they do feel like they're connected and enjoying themselves and having a fun night. I mean, that's my goal, is I want them to have the best time ever. And everyone is like, we had the best time, and even a fan said to me, you know what, I just been to Beyonce and whatever, and I had more fun at this show than I did there. And I said, well, there you go.
You do interact, right? I mean, and people love the Q&A section.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they get to ask me, Mary F. Kill. In fact, that's been my inspiration for my next tour.
We love a little Mary F. Kill. Would you ever do, I mean, Erika Jayne is doing her Vegas residency. I mean, you are on the road. Would you ever do a Vegas residency if you were asked?
I played Vegas. I played the Mirage of Vegas, which was incredible. But I don't want to be in any one place. I like to move around. I like to keep it moving. I would hate to feel the pressure of having to fill up a room every night. That would just be too much for me. And I've always had this fear of like when I started my cabaret that like nobody would show up, like the tickets wouldn't sell. You know what I mean? So a residency would just, oh no, it's too much. I think too much stress. I mean, I like to keep it moving.
Seeing different places, right?
Exactly, and reaching different people.
Yeah. As we wind down, you mentioned Beverly Hills. Are you excited? It's back. Are you excited to watch the new season of Beverly Hills? And do you think it's going to be as good without our Lisa Rinna?
Well, Lisa Rinna is great, and I think that those ladies have a lot of power, popularity. I think they're going to do just fine. I know most of the girls. Recently met Sutton. Well, actually, a couple of years ago met Sutton, and I think it's a great cast, and I'm looking forward to seeing the season. I want to see Kyle, and let's see how Erika Jayne spins herself around, and so I think it'll be interesting for fans to watch that. Yeah.
I think so too. And everything with Kyle and
Yeah.
Mauricio, apparently we're going to see for fans. So that's going to be interesting for
Right.
people.
Right.
Well, listen, I mean, like I said, you have Minnesota, you have Minneapolis, you have Montana, you have Chicago.
No. I have, is it Minnesota? Well, we'll go through the list. I forgot.
I have it here. Hold on. Let me see.
I think it's Minnesota. I think it's Prior Lake, Minnesota. Prior Lake. Then I'm off to Atlanta.
No, you're
New Orleans.
Wait, let me announce it. I'll say it all. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, honey.
Because I
don't have it in front of me. I could pull
I know
it up.
it's like that MN. It's not Minnesota. Hold on one second. Where is
it? MN is Minnesota or Minneapolis?
MN is that's the one that I always confuse. Why can't I find it?
I thought it was Minnesota. I guess not.
You do? Because it's not listed. MN is not. It's yes. Okay. November 3rd, you're in Minnesota. Then on the 18th, you're in New Orleans. And the 19th, you're in Houston. And the 30th, for 3 nights, you're in Chicago. Then you're back at 54 below at the end of the year. And apparently we learned here today, you're going to be on tour next year as well with new material.
Yeah. And Atlanta, I'm going to be in too. I don't know where the Atlanta date, but anyway, I'm going to be in Atlanta. I'm going all over the place. And I'm working on a new tour, which will kick off in February of 2024.
See, I'm just going to have to come again now. Use the word new. It really is different for everyone who hasn't been. You could see the Countess every week. It is different. There is something different every time.
Yeah, well, I change my open. The banter is different. The videos are different. Yeah, I change it all the time. And, life is changing all the time. So the show changes along with my life. That's why it's called Countess Cabaret.
We get to learn just a little bit more about you each time, Luann. Well, congratulations on everything.
Thank you, David.
Have fun at BravoCon. I cannot wait for RHONY Legacy. And, everyone needs to go and buy tickets because this really is the funnest night out.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen Crappie Lake, it's streaming on Peacock.
It is pure comedy gold. Whatever comedy is airing on scripted